So we're going to go over the answers to the third passage of Practice Test 2. This is a science test. It's a side-by-side passage, meaning there's a passage 1 and a passage 2. Number 22. Choice C is the best answer. The author of passage 1 indicates which of the following about the use of screen-based technologies. The author of passage 1 indicates that people can benefit from using screen-based technologies as these technologies strengthen certain cognitive skills, line 3, and the brain functions related to fast-paced problem-solving, lines 14 through 15. Choice A is incorrect because the author of passage 1 cites numerous studies of screen-based technologies. Choice B is incorrect because it is not supported by passage 1. And choice D is incorrect because while the author mentions some benefits to screen-based technologies, he does not encourage their use. 23. Which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? Hopefully you use these line numbers to answer question 22. Choice A is the best answer, for the same reasons. Number 24. The author of passage 1 indicates that becoming adept at using the internet can. The correct answer is B. Undermine the ability to think deeply. The author of passage 1 cites Patricia Greenfield's study, which found that people's use of screen-based technologies weakened their ability to acquire knowledge, perform inductive analysis, and critical thinking, and be imaginative and reflective, lines 34 through 38. The author of passage 1 concludes that the use of screen-based technologies interferes with people's ability to think deeply, lines 47 through 50. Choices A, C, and D are incorrect because the author of passage 1 does not address how using the internet affects people's health, social contacts, or self-confidence. 25. Vocabulary and context. As used in line 40, plastic most nearly means C is the correct answer, malleable. In lines 39 through 41, the author states, we know that the human brain is highly plastic. Neurons and synapses change as circumstances change. In this context, the brain is plastic because it is malleable or able to change. Choices A, B, and D are incorrect because in this context, plastic does not mean creative, artificial, or sculptural. 26. The author of passage 2 refers to the novel War and Peace, primarily to suggest that Woody Allen. The correct answer was B. Could not comprehend the novel by speed reading it. In lines 60 through 65, the author of passage 2 explains how speed reading does not revamp or alter how the brain processes information. He supports this statement by explaining how Woody Allen's reading of War and Peace in one sitting caused him to describe the novel as about Russia. Woody Allen was not able to comprehend the famously long novel by speed reading it. 27. According to the author of passage 2, what do novelists and scientists have in common? D. They become absorbed in their own fields. The author of passage 2 states that people like novelists and scientists improve in their profession by immersing themselves in their fields, line 79. Both novelists and scientists, in other words, become absorbed in their areas of expertise. 28. The analogy in the final sentence of passage 2 has primarily which effect? D. It criticizes the view of a particular group. In lines 83 through 90, the author of passage 2 criticizes media critics for their alarmist writing. Media critics write as if the brain takes on the qualities of whatever it consumes, the informational equivalent of you are what you eat. The author then compares media critics' you are what you eat mentality to ancient people's belief that eating fierce animals made them fierce. The author uses this analogy to discredit media critics' belief that consumption of electronic media alters the brain. 29. The main purpose of each passage is to D. Make an argument about the effects of electronic media use on the brain. The author of passage 1 argues that online and other screen-based technologies affect people's ability to think deeply, lines 47 through 50. The author of passage 2 argues that the effects of consuming electronic media are less drastic than media critics suggest, lines 81 through 82. 30. Which choice best describes the relationship between the two passages? The correct answer is B. Passage 2 critiques the conclusions drawn from the research discussed in passage 1. The author of passage 1 cites scientific research that suggests online and screen-based technologies have a negative effect on the brain, lines 25 through 38. The author of passage 2 is critical of the research highlighted in passage 1. Critics of new media sometimes use science itself to press their case, citing research that shows how experience can change the brain. But cognitive neuroscientists roll their eyes at such talk. And recognize that 31 and 32 are paired questions. 31. On which of the following points would the authors of both passages most likely agree? C. Improved visual spatial skills do not generalize to improved skills in other areas. In passage 1, the author cites psychologist Patricia Greenfield's finding that every medium develops some cognitive skills at the expense of others, lines 29 through 31. In passage 2, the author states, if you train people to do one thing, recognize shapes, solve math puzzles, find hidden words, they get better at doing that thing, but almost nothing else, lines 71 through 74. Both authors would agree that an improvement in one cognitive area, such as visual spatial skills, would not result in improved skills in other areas. 32. Which choice provides the best evidence that the author of passage 2 would agree to some extent with the claim attributed to Michael Merzenich in lines 41 through 43, passage 1? This was B, lines 54 through 56.